let's jack the price up. That there's a trust factor there, and I'm real open and transparent about it because it's a really great way to get a customer one time. If you abuse them that way, the communities are too small, too many people know each
Word of
other.
mouth.
But if
You
you're
screw yourself.
If you're applying for $1,000, it's pretty much bid.
It is, but the way you write the specification controls that. So let's say you come in and you say, I want PVC pipe on the inside of my prefab station. Okay. There could be a guy who's a PVC pipe manufacturer that's going to build a modular building and send it in here. And he really doesn't do this sort of work, but hey, that spec's written that way. Or if it needs to be all stainless, maybe you don't need stainless. Or if they specify a specific type of variable speed drive that someone represents, but that guy represents that product and he's out of Minneapolis. So every time you have a problem, you get to pay him $1,200 to fly out here. So that's the sort of thing where, yeah, it's bid and it's open, but you need to be cognizant about what's in that bid package. So like this past week, there was a bid that we didn't participate on because there were 2 pumps that needed a finite element model where they computer modeled the hydraulics of the pump. There were 5 horsepower pumps. Those pumps run about $6,000 a piece. That fluid model to do that is a $20,000 adder. So they put a $20,000 adder on top of a $5,000 piece of equipment. There was no need for it. The end user didn't pay attention. The engineer may or may not have known that the end user did or didn't want that, but if you work with us and your engineer, you can help control that narrative. It doesn't guarantee that I'm going to get the work, but what it does do is it helps you get in front of someone that this is what we do.
Right.
We build more modular booster systems than any engineer in this state by 100-fold. So like most of the time, like if you call an engineering firm in the Rapids Western region and they go, hey, we got a booster, the first person they're going to call is the people that work for us and say, hey, what do you think the budget price on? They're going to ask the same questions you guys are this morning because those engineering firms have got to cover streets, roads, sewer lines, buildings, private little water systems, wastewater. I mean, they cover this huge expanse of stuff. So they go to their specific people and ask. I just ask the end users if they want us involved. Tell your engineer to make sure they call us to do that so that we can help.
So is it such a thing that it seems like more practical to me is you maybe pay you a consult fee and you design the system, have a building person, contractor, that's one portion of the bid. Next is the inside stuff. Pay you a consulting fee to consult this is the stuff we want, and then it goes out to bid.
So when it goes to the engineer, if you tell them to work with us, we will design the building, the piping, the layout, and give them the print. They will put that inside their plans. We generally do that at no cost to the engineer or the end user because we want to be at the front of that spec and be driving it. So you'll kind of, if you tell them to work with us, you're going to get that at no cost from me.
I think
Will that include that life cycle analysis that you were talking about, or
Nope.
that's all brand new?
That's all the stuff that they'll do for you right now, and they'll look into the.
I think you said it right at the beginning, it becomes a trust factor.
Sure.
And so I guess we'd have to be comfortable with that.
And there are other companies that do similar things to what we do, but if you tell them to work with us and we do that design, the building that we do, the piping layout, we've kind of got a little bit of a head start over other people that do that. Plus our location gives us a little bit of an advantage too.
So 2 questions is, if you did that, and then it goes out to bids, I could see that'd be a fair process, and then give you first right of refusal or something where you can get close to that bid. I mean, that's just American way. Number 2 is, I live with that stupid camera's on me, so it's screwed.
Well, I think part of the trust
Only
factor
history
for us is that we're putting our faith in Rollins' recommendation, and he
Yeah, I get
recommended
that.
you guy, you
I
know?
totally get
And-
that. What about serviceability?
That's what they're
See, that's-
doing.
Well, that's what I'm.
one of the
I'm
things
talking
I
about
like
after
about
it's
Dakota
up.
Pump, you know, they got a full staff, engineers, operators.
Do you have a card?
I do in the car.
And see, Roland is retiring, so
So
these guys are going to walk in and take over
So
right now.
you-
The
You've got-
filter and everything.
You've
Okay.
got two things. If you want to maximize every single penny on the new build, we can put everything an eighth of an inch from a wall and make it impossible to work on. And that's why I say work with the engineer to have them work with us, because one of the things that we do is I've got a service crew that runs out of Somerset and Mitchell and Watertown, and when they come into places that maybe haven't had the attention put into them, you'll get a fitting this far from a wall that you can't put a wrench on. Well, we can still work on it, but your bill goes up because the hours to fix that are impossible. Service on the backside for when we're done with that, that just kind of is what it is. We
Is
serve
this a good size?
with what you have right now. Yeah, you've got clearance around everything. You can get in, you can get out. I would personally, I'd bring the piping up off the floor a little bit, just so that it was easier to get under and work around. But you don't have anything that just is horrible outside of your floor.
Okay.
Well, we have two things going on. It's proceed with engineering, and the other thing is we have a possibility that Deadwood's bringing water up this way. So I would say right now proceed with that. Maybe Deadwood will react in the meantime. We can make a decision whether we want to put our money here or just annex in and take their water.
Or
That's
just
where
buy
we're-
their water and not
Right.
annex. So,
But we're just exploring all our options, and I so appreciate you taking the time to come out because
Yeah.
it's been so informative. And I don't know, you've got some big shoes to fill. Roland was very good to us for a lot of years. How many years?
Since 2006,
Okay, it's a long time.
Yep.
So
15 years.
do we want to talk about that side of it at all right now?
yes.
Sure.
So we had talked, I had come up with basically a flat rate,
Okay.
and would want to send you guys a contract and sign up. And I think the goal would be, Roland will probably, at least what we came up with was that Roland agreed that he would kind of step out, but if we had any questions for the first 6 or 8 months about, hey, how'd you do that one special little thing, he'd be available to us. But we run a bunch of systems in the area, and we'd like to pick you guys up because we've got most of the equipment that you guys have already anyways. So if I can get I'll give you my card. If you send me an email, I can get you a sample contract and we can start
Absolutely.
working from there.
That'd be
Before I
great.
forget, I know that I think Tammy had sent you an email about the Rolf property and really having a high meter reading. Did anybody ever follow up on that?
Which property?
It would have been Harvey Kelly's
Rolf?
place.
No. Okay. Well, if she did, it got by me.
Okay. So Steve didn't contact you? I'm kind of surprised. Steve Rolf, he didn't contact you either. Anyway, it just seemed really outrageous, so I just
On
really
this
thought,
last reading?
yeah, I just
I'll
thought,
look at that when I get
yeah,
back.
would you look at that and they admit that they water, but it still seems really high. So if we've got leaks going on, we need to know that.
What became of the Cutro situation up there with the water meter? I got his old meter, and I got an email from him, and he said he needed to get it back or something. I haven't got it to him yet, but he took a meter out that was operational, I think. I think it was functional. And then
Yeah,
put in one that was used, so it had an existing water reading on it.
Partly our fault in just misnaming the meter. The way we charge for water is we do so much per gallon, and then we bill $30 a month, so $90 a quarter as a service fee. But we initially called it meter fee or something like that. So I think he got mixed up in thinking that we were charging him for the meter instead of it's the service, you know. And so, yeah, we're still working on trying to clear that up, but,
I still have his old meter. so
Okay.
I'll get that.
you'll get that to him? Yeah. But I'm not sure. Are you getting a meter reading from him currently? Or are we just guessing?
Well, he gave me one. The readout, the census handheld readout doesn't work on his. It's not compatible
Would it
with
work
the
on
meter
this
that
one
he's.
you're taking back to him?
It should, yeah.
Okay.
It was working before. but I
Okay,
don't know why it
well then
shouldn't.
I'll encourage him to put that one back in and then the handheld, and that's what you,
Mine doesn't work either, it's brand new.
Yeah, we did figure that one out, but we're good on the readings. I'm not sure why that one doesn't work.
and then I think we have an issue with your place.
No, it's good. We're
It's good?
We
Okay.
got him calmed down.
Good.
And
No,
I
the
thought I had
meter.
air. No, the meter's good.
Oh, the meter's
I had
good.
air that you came and checked on, remember? Tim replaced the faucet in the kitchen. There was a drip that was going on, and after he replaced that, there's no more air. So I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, 'cause I flushed that entire zone up there and didn't witness any air in the lines.
Okay, so yeah,
But
we're
it does
good.
a dead end up there, and that's a question for the engineers. Maybe there should be an air relief up on that high end by Kutra's. 'Cause like I say, it's not looped in. Potentially, you can trap some air up there. System should have an air relief if they're not looped like that.
That'd be part of your
Or
specs
loop
that
it.
you'll
Can we
give
still
them
loop it?
If we go with you, that you'll
you'd have
to
ask
go
for this
from
air relief?
Kutra's.
You need to talk to them
over
about that.
you
So
will
that's
talk
at,
to
that's
them.
at the end of the line.
Jeff's.
Okay.
So they'll look at
Yeah,
your piping elevation.
Just below Jeff's place,
And,
that line
I mean,
goes down
we can
and
sell you an air relief,
wraps
but
around
I
where
would,
the system did it.
I'm not
So
an
there'd
expert
have to
for
be a
pipeline
connection
layout.
up
They
there.
would be,
Yeah,
if they say you need an air relief, we can get you
Okay,
one for sure.
so that'd
and
get
help you
costly.
find someone to install it. So,
All right, so you're gonna email me this contract, and then we'll, as a board, decide, and I'm sure it'll be unanimous. But then, how would you like to initially start? I mean, do you typically want someone to take you around and introduce you to who's ever home and show you where the meters are, or do you do that? Or-
Yeah, when we do a transition, I'll be
Okay,
working with them until they're happy.
so I have a pretty
Thank you.
strong opinion that we fly under other people who know what's going on until we do. And I've got no ego involved with that. So for the first month or two, I'm gonna be walking right in his shoes and
I
listening
think
to
that's
him.
very smart.
Are the gentleman who works for us, who does the majority of this, his name's Tim Weber. He used to be the water distribution manager for the city of Rapid.
Okay,
He's going to be the one who's up here most of the time. He's going to be the primary point of contact. And I imagine you and Tim will probably be the ones that walk around and do the initial inspections and stuff like that, because on a week-to-week basis, Tim's the one that does the site checks, the sampling, the weekly visit for the inspection, and will probably be doing the meter reading. Like I said though, I got that job posting, so if you want on board, just let me know. But yeah, I think we just,
I have to be the boss, so it might be a problem.
so we'll, that would be mine, is I think we'll just stick Tim and myself to a lesser extent, because I've got the same problem you do with going and doing other things. So we'll
Sure.
stick Tim, and then our controls guys, you'll meet at some point Jordan and Sydney, and then
Okay.
all the people that come out of Mitchell and Watertown, hopefully you don't meet them for a long time, because if you do, that means you've got a larger
Issues?
Trouble.
You got a larger problem going on.
Okay.
And in the
Alright.
short term, we'll confine the parts and we'll go ahead and order
Okay.
the replacement for that.
Yeah, let's do that, and you don't really seem concerned about the heater. What do you think? We're very willing to replace that heater.
Well,
Otherwise,
I've got
the
this
only
portable
heat
unit
sources,
here.
and is
It's
that
been
yours?
working and I've held on.
Is that yours? You own it?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Can't remember where I got it now, but I pulled it out of my shop, so. But it's been keeping up, you know. I could have replaced that this summer, because it was late last winter, I think, when that one finally crapped out. And,
What are we talking for expense? Any idea?
oh, a couple $100 to replace that.
I just think we should, yeah. So 2 items then we're looking at getting replaced.
That tank and that.
Right, the display.
Oh, the
He's
display.
gonna order the display part and
Okay.
we'll replace the heater. The tank, I think we're good for a while,
Yeah.
right?
We need to figure out whether it's got a bladder or not.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm sure it doesn't. I think, I remember looking at the old drawings on that, and I'll dig them out, verify that.
So if it doesn't have a bladder, and what you're seeing today, what do you think as far as life on that then?
I didn't see a big concern, immediate concern anyway. That's my opinion.
You'll know in a hurry. We'll show up one day and there'll be a pinhole in it.
Right.
It'll be leaking.
Yeah, I mean it's not gonna explode and tear the building apart or anything. If anything happens, you'll probably get a leak and it'll go on the floor, and you order a new tank and you wrestle with it when you're there.
What would it
To
cost?
be honest with you, I'm not entirely convinced that it's needed. You know, we've got, the only thing it's doing is providing a little extra contact time for the chemicals that we're putting in to react, to absorb the radium and the arsenic into that precipitate.
Let's put it this way: I've seen way worse, and they're working. So I would not.
So we're good
Don't
there
be
for a
alarmed
while.
there.
In a week, when it springs a leak, you can yell at me for lying to you, but I don't see any problem with that thing to you.
Okay.
And do you have a problem with the floor as is for a while till we make some major decisions?
It is what it is. There's wishes and wants and needs and all that. You guys have got to do what's right for all your homeowner users. When my guys come in here, they better be careful.
Well,
As a whole.
before I let that, I'll get a cover over the top of that, something that, you know, like maybe expanded metal. or
Expanded
something,
middle, yeah.
You know, that can still breathe. you
Yeah.
know, let the-
Yep. But
That'd be good.
We're making a once a week site visit. We're not living in here. I don't want to overblow it.
Once a week.
Yeah, at a minimum. If there's problems, we'd be here more, but we're not gonna be living in here. If I was
Okay.
living in here, I would say, yeah, we got an issue that we gotta fix right now. But for site visits, just let your engineer do their work, and when they get you a recommendation, they'll come down.
Does the system
Cool.
have a computer-wise call in if something goes down?
There's the capabilities, I believe, are here, but it doesn't exist. You're talking about alarm system
Something that calls a phone that it lays down?
at this point.
So that's when I said SCADA controls, that's one of the divisions of ours. If you guys get to a point that you do that, I would recommend putting you on a cloud hosted system with a cell dialer, and we'll come in and we'll wire in some equipment that's, it has the capability that we will dial out to, if you're the guy that's here 365, it'll go to you and we can have it dial us as well, and if there's a problem. But you also have to have the right equipment to send out. So, you know, if you have a drive fault, it looks like, I think that's probably the only thing that you can put in there right now is if your well pump's down. If you want to add pressure transducers, low suction, you can get as exotic as you want with that. But
Right now,
if
the
you
only-
want to do that, we can hook you up with
How
it.
many other communities have that?
Quite a few, really.
It's becoming,
This
the
you
only
gotta-
people that aren't doing it are developers, because developers don't want to pay for it. And then when they leave, people go, we don't have any water. Oh my God, why not? And they come up to a place like this and they don't have any water, and they go, well, there's no way to know. And then they add it, like when people are out of water once, that's generally all it takes. And then it's like, hey, how much is it? It's between $5 and $10 grand, depending on what you want to do. And then you get a monthly bill because we host it, of between $45 and $65, depending on how many sick calls you've got, and that's it.
I'm just getting
That
into-
whole system there, Will, was part of the old float system,
Yeah?
and it was radio controlled from the tank down. That's all obsolete.
Okay.
We got rid of the.
Is it running
radio-
on pressure for the tank? Okay.
And then there is a high pressure cutout in here too. When it reaches 150 psi in the system, it'll shut the system down.
That way you know to come change filters if you had to.
Well, that, in fact, I don't have to worry about blowing blowing something apart, with excessive pressures.
Right.
But yes, and there again, I check it frequently enough, a minimum once a week, if not more. And there's always plenty of storage, If it did shut down when we walk out of here today, yeah, the tanks are gonna drop down. In the summertime, it becomes more of an issue because of the water use.
So to answer your question, we can add radio stuff, and that's a great example of make sure you tell your engineer to talk to us, because in the specification, if you guys want a local provider for that, which I 100% would do that, you can write into the update in your funding package.
To include that?
Vodafone Inc. is our service provider for controls and telemetry. Contact them for pricing on this. It doesn't lock the whole building in, but that one panel and the service with it, that way you don't have someone from Arizona being your SCADA provider, someone in a different time zone, or even 400 miles away. You have someone right here.
And that's one of the reasons I'm going to Will now on that controller. Either Will or go to Watertown. And the last time I had them out here, I think they charged about $400 for the service stuff.
They didn't want to come very bad, did they?
Sure they did.
400.
So, just to put it all together, the tanks would have to run dry before anybody notices we're out of water. So,
Actually, Deborah in the neighborhood up there, I'll usually get a call from Bonnie. She'll tell me the pressure's getting a little low up on this end of the, of the distribution
Okay.
system. And either her or Kutra's, and that's my head.
there's your electronic.
We all, I don't know about you, but everybody we run, we always get to know the people at the top of the hill first.
Yep.
So if you live at the bottom of the hill, you'll be fine.
I'm the same level as the tanks.
These above the tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, well, I think we've taken enough of your time. I so appreciate it.
Yep.
How are we doing on filters?
I've got, these were put in, in fact, I just looked at it the other day. I think they're about half-life on the filters that are in there. These are garbage, they're going out, and I've got a set on hand, so I'll be ordering some more here shortly.
And how many do you try to keep on hand then?
I try and keep, 6 on hand, it'd be 2 changes.
When you take over, do you carry these filters?
We'll just buy. Yeah, the answer is yes. We buy stuff like this in bulk because we do this.
So we don't need to keep on hand anymore.
Nope.
So that eliminates some cost.
This is the only system I have that's got this size of filters. The rest of them are smaller.
And these filters, I forget what they run a piece.
Fairly expensive, aren't
They vary. The most expensive one is that 1 micron. This is the final filter going out. And I think that one runs about 260. Maybe somewhere around there.
they? So is there a big retirement party with free drinks and hors d'oeuvres that we're all invited to?
Well, we can work something out.
We might have to throw one.
Yeah, we should.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Candy, Jeff?